يزيديات يزيديات محمد وعلي محمد بلندر سلام. صل على محمد وعلي محمد.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله قاسم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الهاربين، والصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأطهرين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء، ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقتلتهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم ملعونين. Amma ba'd, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Marziyah, for the enlightenment of the graves of your marhumin, of the graves of the Shahada, Ulama and Siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahlul Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam, Arwahun al-Fidat, please recite your loudest salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is Rahman and the one who is Rahim. The one that has given us opportunity to once again observe the month of Shaban, allowing us to get closer towards that spiritual peak of the believer that is Laylatul Qadr. The journey that began a month ago on the 1st of Rajab is reaching its halfway point as we approach the 15th of Sha'ban, where destiny is written in its draft format to then move on to the night of Qadr, where then it is written permanently for the year to come. At times people ask that why is it that we have destiny that's written on the 15th of Sha'ban and destiny that's written on the nights of Qadr. And Sayyid Ibn Tawus explains it. He says that what happens on the 15th of Sha'ban is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writes the destiny of man in draft format. It goes to a place known as Loh Mahfuz wal Ithbat, the erasable tablet. Up until the 15th of Sha'ban, whatever that individual has done throughout the year and the a'mal that he does on the 15th of Sha'ban are written in draft format. Then the individual is monitored from the 15th of Sha'ban until Layal al-Qadr. That is he maintaining that spiritual high that he, or all the things that he promised on the night of the 15th, will he maintain it until the night of Qadr? He's monitored constantly over and over through this period. If he is improving day upon day, when it comes to Laylatul Qadr, then that destiny that is written for him for the coming year is much better, and it is preserved for him for that whole year. But the journey began on the 1st of Rajab. That on the 1st of Rajab, the Rajab was the month of istighfar. Was that month where even if you fasted one day within it, it was equivalent to 1,000 months of fasting. You fasted one day, it was saving you from the fire of hell. 10 consecutive days gave you this much. And then come into Sha'ban, and again, there is that constant reminder to us of the different dhikr. In Rajab, it was at least 1,000 times in the month. Recite Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. For the month of Sha'ban, it is at least once a day. Recite Astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu tawbah. These are the recommended tasbihat that we have, that allows us to begin to intensify our worship until we reach Laylatul Qadr. Because even the Imam of the time embarks upon a spiritual program so that he is able to bear the amr that comes to him on the night of Qadr. So he begins a 3-month spiritual program to be able to receive that amr that comes down on the night of Qadr. We too need to be embarking upon a path of spiritual redefining ourselves spiritually, spiritual training, so that when the night of Qadr comes, we can also feel that tanazzalul malaikatu war ruh, that we can feel those angels descending, we can feel the peace of the night of Qadr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking on that night of Qadr, so that when He speaks about in Surah Al-Qadr, so that when it comes to that night, I'm not looking at how many hours do I have to go till Fajr, but I'm praying every single moment that this night extends somewhat more, so that whatever I'm doing, it is I'm redefining myself for the year to come, because the doors of mercy have opened for me. It's a journey towards Allah. It's a journey towards understanding Allah. But that journey is incomplete without Ahlul Bayt. Without the ma'rifah of Ahlul Bayt, that journey towards Allah is incomplete. It isn't even a journey towards Allah. As we recite in the Salawat Sha'baniyah, that Ahlul Bayt al-fulk al-jariyati fil lujaj al-ghamira ya'manu man rakibaha wa yaghraqu man tarakaha al-mutaqaddimu lahum marik wal-mutaakhiru anhum zahiq wal-lazimu lahum lahiq. We say that they are ships that sail upon unfathomless seas. The one that believed in them was saved. The one that disbelieved in them was destroyed. The one that went too far ahead of them was misguided. The one that stayed too far behind them was lost. But the one that stayed with them every single step of the way was finally reunited with them. Ahlul Bayt are those paths towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. They are the path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are the only sirat, the only way towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To understand Allah as is His right to be understood, it can only be achieved through the path of Ahlul Bayt. Why? Because they are that light that was created, that primordial light from which all of existence came. They are the origin of all good. We recite in Ziyarat Jami'a Kabira, إذا ذكر الخير كنتم أوله وأصله وفرعه ومعدنه ومأواه ومنتهاه. That you, O Ahlul Bayt, wherever there is talk of any sort of good in this world, we acknowledge you are the origin of it, you are the root of it, you are the branches of it, you are the pinnacle of that good. Everything, all good originates from them, because they are that primordial light through which all of existence came into existence. We know only these are individuals that are beyond understanding, that we cannot even comprehend them. The narration says that one day Amirul Mu'mineen and Sayyidah Zahra had gone out. Had gone out into the desert, and they were sitting with each other and they were eating dates. Amirul Mu'min turns towards Sayyidah and says, Ya Fatima, who do you think Rasulullah loves more, me or you? Hazrat Zahra looks towards Amirul Mu'mineen and says, Ya Ali, of course it's me. Says, why? Says, I am the flesh of the Prophet, I am his daughter, his only child. How is it that he could not love me? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Ya Zahra, if you are truthful in your claim, let us go and ask your father. So they go towards Rasulullah and they sit. They go and they sit in front of Rasulullah. Sayyida addresses her father, says, Father, who do you love more, me or Ali? Rasulullah looks towards her, says, Zahra, I love you more, but Ali is more honored in my eyes. Amir al-Mu'mineen, hearing this, turns towards Sayyida. He says, Zahra, did I not tell you, Ana waladu Fatima dhat tuqa. I am the son of that Fatima, that pious Fatima. Sayyida looks towards Amir al-Mu'mineen, says, Ya Ali, granted. Wa ana ibnatu Khadijat al-Kubra. But I am the daughter of Khadijat al-Kubra. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Zahra, ana ibn Safa. But I am the son of the Mount Safa. She turns towards him and says, وَأَنَا ابْنَةُ سِدْرَةِ الْمُنْتَهَى. But I am the daughter of Sidrat al-Muntaha. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Zahra, أَنَا فَخْرُ الْوَرَى. I am the pride of the heavens and the earth. She turns towards him. She says, أَنَا ابْنَةُ مَنْ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّى فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. I am the daughter of the one that was taken towards the heavens such that he was 2 bows length away from the end of existence. Amir al-Mu'mineen says to her, Zahra khadimi Jibra'il. Jibra'il is my servant. Zahra turns around and says, Ya Ali, granted. But you should know, وَأَنَا ابْنَةُ مَنْ دَنَا. She says, وَأَنَا خَاطَبَنِي فِي السَّمَاءِ رَاحِيلٌ وَخَدَمَتْنِي الْمَلَائِكَةُ جِيلًا بَعْدَ جِيلٍ. She says, but I am the one whose nikah was recited in the heavens by Rahil, and army after army of angels were in my servitude. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Zahra, وَأَنَا وُلِدْتُ فِي مَحَلِّ الْبَعِيدِ الْمُرْتَقَى. I was born in that most holiest of place, meaning the center of the Kaaba. Zahra replies to him, says, Ya Ali, وَأَنَا زَوِّجْتُ فِي الرَّفِيعِ الْأَعْلَى وَكَانَ مَلَاكِي فِي السَّمَاءِ. But I was married in the highest of heavens, at the highest point. Amir al-Mu'mineen turns towards her. He says, Zahra, أَنَا نُورُ الْوَرَى. Zahra, I am the light of the heavens and the earth. She replies back to him, وَأَنَا الزَّهْرَى. But I am the radiant one. Amir al-Mu'mineen looks towards her. He says, Zahra, أَنَا كَسَفِينَةُ النُّوحِ مَنْ رَكِبَهَا نِجَا. I am the ark of Noah. The one that embarks upon me is saved. She replies, وَأَنَا أُشَارِكُكَ فِي الدَّعْوَى. Ya Ali, I too am an ark of salvation. Amir al-Mu'mineen looks towards her, says, Zahra, I am the one whose name Adam used in order to ask for forgiveness. Zahra replies, Ya Ali, granted. Your name was used by Adam in order to ask for forgiveness. But Ya Ali, it was for my sake that Adam was forgiven. 57 virtues exchanged between husband and wife like this. 57 virtues exchanged between them. When Rasulullah interjects, says, Ya Ali, Ya Zahra, stop. Says, Zahra, come towards Ali, for his virtues are higher than yours. Look towards his right. He has Mikael, Jibrail, Israfil and Israel have come down with 4,000 malaika. And on his left is Rahil and Dardail with another 4,000 malaika. Each of them have come to bear witness about the fada'il of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Sayyida stands up. The narration says she goes and she kisses the forehead of Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is Zahra, this is Ali. How can we even comprehend those individuals that are the light of the heavens and the earth? Then if Ali, with all his greatness, was to raise a child in his hands, if Ali held a child in his hands and named that child Ali, how great would that child be? What would be the end of that child? It would be that the world would be compelled to call him Zainul Abidin. The world would be compelled to call him the adornment of the worshippers. The Imam that we come to celebrate his life, his birth today. He is Zainul Abidin. That individual that is the adornment for all those that claim to be servants of God from the start of time until the end. He is the adornment. They say on the day of judgment the call will come out. Where is Zainul Abidin? And Imam al-Sajjad will make his way out from amongst the people. But what is it that we can take from his life? As I say to you every time I come, Ahl al-Bayt are not there simply for us to tell their stories, but rather they're there for us to take lessons. Because their lives, their teachings, they were there in order to take us towards perfection. A perfection that lies within understanding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Gaining a ma'rifah of Allah as much as this limited mind can. As I've recited for you here before, the Hadith Qudsi, the purpose of man is to know Allah. It says, كنت كنزا مخفيا فأحببت أن أعرف فخلقت الخلق لكي أعرف. I was a hidden treasure. I desired to be known. And so I initiated creation so that they may come to know me. Because through knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an individual attains their perfection. They unlock that essence that exists within them. They understand themselves, and when they understand themselves, they understand God, because there isn't anything beyond Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Imam al-Sajjad says in Dua Abu Hamza Thumali, Bika araftuka wa anta dalaltani ilayk wa da'awtani ilayk wa lawla lam adri ma ant. That it is through you that I knew you. And you yourself opened and showed me the evidences that pointed towards you. And had it not been for you, I would not have known who you are. This is that all-encompassing nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That there isn't anywhere where a person can escape from the kingdom of Allah. Yes, we lull ourselves into a false sense of security where we think, no, what I'm doing is it's okay. I'm out the boundaries. I don't think about it. But here the Imam is saying that even if you want to understand Allah, you're only allowed, or you can only understand Allah through Allah. You can only go towards Allah through Allah. You can only praise Allah through Allah. Nowhere else do you have this. When you praise anyone else, you talk about their characteristics and you praise their characteristics. But yet when you want to praise Allah, you say, Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, MashaAllah. It's always using Allah to praise Allah, because there is no tongue that can extol the virtues of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except for that divine tongue. He manifests, and this idea is very difficult to grasp, that this bika araftuka wa anta dalaltani ilayk, that I knew you through you, and you yourself opened the paths for me. If a human being sits down and contemplates and analyzes their life and analyzes their existence and looks with an impartial mind towards all the difficulties and all the problems that were solved in their lives and all those times of a lack of faith, see that everything points towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we naturally are drawn towards that reality. Ahlul Bayt came to teach us, came to explain this reality through us uncovering that divinity that exists within. Because everything we need is inside us, but yet we don't see it. That's why Amirul-Mu'mineen says, you think that you are something small. Within you is Alamul Akbar. Within you is a great universe. The cure for your disease is within you, yet you do not perceive it. Because Allah has said in the Holy Quran twice, نَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. I blew into man an essence of my soul, of that divine essence. So that divine essence exists. We need to uncover it. We need to become conscious of Him. And to become conscious of Him, we need to know what the traits of those are that are conscious of Allah, also known as the muttaqeen. Who are the muttaqeen? And for that we go to the door of Imam al-Sajjad, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi, where in Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq, Imam highlights for us the characteristics of the muttaqeen. And those of you that have not had the opportunity to read Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq, if you want a perfect checklist of morality, that this is the schema, this is the framework for morality, Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq gives you it. Where the Imam is first and foremost setting out what every human being should be aspiring towards. He says, "O Allah, give me akmal al-iman. Give me the perfection in faith." The Imam isn't saying, he isn't telling us to say, "Oh Allah, give me iman. Oh Allah, make me a good mu'min." He's saying, give me perfection in iman. Make me the perfect mu'min. As if to tell us that if you aim for perfection, even if you fall short, you've achieved excellence. But if you're living a mediocre existence, where you're just doing the bare necessity that will maybe keep you out of hell, I'm just doing my wajibat and whatever else, I don't really want to work on myself, I don't really want to develop myself, just doing enough to just skim past. He says, if you fall short, there's a chance that you'll end up in hell. But the believer is the one that always pursues perfection. Wherever they are, they pursue perfection in iman. Says, my Lord, give me perfection in my iman. Give me ahsan in niyat. Give me the perfection in intention, the best of intentions. Give me the most perfect of actions. Sometimes when we do dua and we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask Him as if He's like us. You want to say, Ya Allah, if it's possible, I know it's a bit of a tall order. Yeah, I've got this issue in my life. I can't see any other solution for it. So if you can do something, it'd be great. And this is the way that we approach dua. That at the back of my mind, I don't really have the yaqeen that Allah can do everything. I don't really believe that He is Qadir Mutlaq. He is that Lord that can do anything. He can change whatever He wants. He can do whatever. There's nothing outside the powers of God. Everything is possible, but yet I approach Him like embarrassed, thinking maybe I'm asking a bit too much. Whereas in the opening lines of this dua, I'm straight away going and asking for perfection. I want the perfection for myself. Don't want anything short of perfection. And so I strive for that perfection. I work towards it. This dua is a complete checklist of those moral characteristics. Where I'm saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, don't raise me in the eyes of the people darajatan illa hatatani 'inda nafsi mithlaha. That do not raise me in front of the people by one level. Don't let them respect me anymore without lowering its equivalent within me. The more they show me respect, you make me lower myself within myself. So I don't start to believe all the good things that they tell me about me. Because otherwise, that's how you create monsters. People who think that everyone else owes them a favor. Everyone owes them for their very presence in the majlis, for example. Or, for their very attendance to something. And then sometimes we go one step further. And then we think God owes us. When this disease starts, it first starts off on the base level with the creatures of God, with the creation. Got a chip on my shoulder, always moody, always angry, always got something. I can't ever smile. You see those type of people, you look at them and think, made me depressed, even on the Jashan. Just smile. There's no harm in smiling. In fact, the characteristic of the believer is that the believer is always smiling, though his heart may be filled with pain. He's always smiling, he's always happy. So I have this chip on my shoulder. Now, when this chip on my shoulder gets bigger and the disease gets deeper and deeper into my heart, then I start thinking that God owes me. So I go and I pray one Salat al-Layl, and I'm like, why is my problem not solved? Why? I do one dua or I spend one Laylatul Qadr, and I'm like, I'm still in the same financial trouble I was before. Why does God do this to me? Why did this happen to me? Why is it that happened to me? Why is it me? Why can't it be someone else? Because that disease has gone so far in, now I've got a chip on my shoulder with God. And we don't bring it on our tongues. Our actions show it. Said someone pray, not now. Later, I've got to go to work. And then when I pray, I'm like, I'm so tired, but I still prayed. Or I fast. Now Shahr Ramadan is coming, mashallah. So now when I fast, 18 hours, I'm doing this. First 3 or 4 days is everyone's grumpy and angry and don't talk to me because I'm hungry and this. And then we try and find ways, and alhamdulillah, this year, every year it's coming closer and closer to exam time. So we always get the question, can I not fast because I can't concentrate in an exam? Can I not fast because I have a dissertation to write or a thesis to finish? No, you still have to fast. But I can't concentrate. That's because there's an issue. Amir-ul-Mu'mineen himself said, Al-ilmu fil ju', that knowledge is in hunger. When you accustom yourself to hunger, that's how your mind begins to open. You begin to retain more and more information. The stomach that is full can never unlock the true potential of the aql. One accustoms themselves to hunger. So Shahr Ramadan comes, and then from day one I start complaining. The dread starts filling from now, obviously, because we try and tell people mustahab fast, and I'm like, no, I'll delay it till Shahr Ramadan when I actually have to do it. Now I don't really have to do it, so why am I going to force myself? And so this is an indication of that chip on my shoulder. Because I don't have the yaqeen that this can do anything for me or it can bring any sort of benefit in my life. And so I just think, I'll do it when I have to do it. And then when I do it, and I reach the day of Eid, obviously you all know, I don't need to tell you, everyone becomes an expert in obviously 2 things in Shahr Ramadan. The first, actually 3 things. The first is like diet. Everyone becomes an expert in diet. We start sharing Facebook videos and stuff like this. Eat this food, eat this food, eat this food, eat this. It will make you feel full for longer. Yeah? It will make you feel hydrated for longer. Newsflash, the whole point of Shahr Ramadan is you're supposed to feel the hunger, not feel full for longer. It's within that hunger that you get proximity to Allah. When the Holy Prophet goes on Mi'raj, Allah asks him, says, do you know when my abd is most closest to me? He says, no, I don't know, Ya Allah, you tell me. He says, when he's hungry or when he's in the state of sajda. Says those are the two places when my servant is the closest to me. When he's hungry or when he's in the state of sajda. But yet I think of it as something that, takes me away. It's a burden. But yet that hunger is what brings me closer to Allah. So the first thing is, I try and feel full for longer. Second thing I become an expert in is obviously the time of Maghrib. Everyone's an expert in that. The time of Maghrib. No, I don't know. I heard from the other center that's 10 miles away. They're on a different gradient from us, and the sun. We're going out and everyone becomes an expert in that, and then obviously, naturally, everyone's an expert on the moon. Then everyone becomes, no, I don't think. But it was seen here. I saw this. So 3 things everyone becomes an expert in, but the only thing that we don't become experts in is getting closer to God. We get obsessed with all the peripheral things, and we don't focus on the actual aim. He's saying that the banquet of God is open for you. My day just becomes the period between 2 meals. What I eat at suhoor and what I'm going to eat at iftar. And I prepare. Everyone's going to start now going to cash and carry, wholesale, buying juices and all the different things, and then the cravings start kicking in, and Mum, can I have this today, and this, and my very existence becomes about the food. And then if, God forbid, the Husainiyah decides to do iftar and there's no meat, then we have a problem. And it's simple. Like, what is this? Is this some sort of iftar? And I still claim to be the follower of that Imam that used to break a piece of bread on his knee and then dip it in water to soften it and eat it and do his iftar with that. He's Imam al-Muttaqeen. So what are the characteristics of those that are conscious of God? Imam Sajjad in Du'a Makarim al-Akhlaq, he says that in one part of it says, Ilahi albisni zinat al-muttaqeen. My Lord, clothe me in the clothing of the muttaqeen. And then he lists the characteristics. في بسط العدل وكظم الغيظ وإطفاء النائرة. Says the first thing is through establishing justice. Justice within myself, justice outside. I've spoken about these points here before, so I'm not going to go into them in depth. وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ, by swallowing my anger. I swallow that anger. You look at the life of Imam Sajjad, so many different examples. One example is that they say Imam is sitting down to eat and the slave girl is there and she's pouring some water for the Imam. As she moves away, the jug slips from her hand and hits the head of the Imam and cuts the head of the Imam. The Imam looks towards her, she looks towards the Imam, and before the Imam can say anything, she begins to recite the ayah of the Quran. She says, وَكَاظِمِينَ لِلْغَيْظِ. Those people of God are those that swallow their anger. Imam looks at her and says, I've swallowed my anger. She says, وَعَافِينَ أَنِ النَّاسِ. She continues the ayah. And they forgive the people. Imam says, I've forgiven you. And she says, وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And surely Allah loves those that do good. Imam looks at her and says, go, I freed you in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. They're those that swallow their anger. Not just swallow their anger, but they forgive the person that's done bad to them. When the event of Harra happens, when Yazid sends an army to be able to destroy and ransack Medina in order to suppress the uprising post-Karbala, it is such a horrendous event. They say the year after, 1,000 illegitimate children were born in Medina. He gave his army free rein to do what they wanted in Medina. The only house that wasn't to be touched was the house of Bani Hashim, because this was post-Karbala. The issues he'd already seen. Marwan comes to Imam al-Sajjad. This is the same Marwan that right at the start, when Sayyid al-Shuhada goes and he goes to Walid, and in the house of Marwan, they say that if he doesn't give bay'ah, tell him we'll cut off his head. That same Marwan that starts this whole thing. He now comes to Imam Sajjad. Says that Yazid sending an army. I've heard they have free reign. Will you take care of my women and children? Marwan. He's coming to the Imam post Karbala, after everything that has happened. Says, will you take care of my women and children? Imam looks at him, says, yes, bring them. All the women and children of the household of Marwan come stay with Imam al-Sajjad. And not just stay. When they return, they say that we never had so much ease in the houses of our fathers as we did in the house of Ali ibn-ul-Hussain. وَعَافِينَا عَنِ النَّاسِ. Well, Imam says the second characteristic, وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ, they're those that swallow their anger. وَإِطْفَاءِ النَّائِرَةِ, they extinguish the flames of hatred. They're not filled with hate. Their hearts are not filled with hate. They let things go. We're so consumed by hatred of all different things. And some things are so trivial, people get in a bad mood. Oh, I hate the rain. Or I hate this food. And so I don't want to eat this particular, I don't know, whatever food it is. And so I get in a mood about it. These things, hatred does not enter the heart of the believer. There is no hate in the heart of the believer. There is only hatred for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why swearing is haram in Islam. And la'an is ibadat. Because swearing, you're attacking the entity that was created by God in perfection. In la'an, you're attacking the actions of that person. In Islam, we hate the sin, not the sinner. This is why the Imams were able to welcome back individuals that had sworn at them, that had attacked them. And still turn around and say, you look like you're a traveler. Can we offer you some sort of food? Can we offer you shelter? Because there was the hatred of the sin, not the sinner. It says, وَإِطْفَاءِ النَّائِرَةِ وَضَمَّ أَهْلِ الْفُرْقَةِ. And the muttaqeen bring together the people of disunity. If the community or if individuals are disunited, the muttaqeen are those that bring together those individuals. They bring together the two parties. They don't jump in and start saying, yeah, you know what, you're right, he is like this. They bring together the party. They show that love. They unite the communities. They don't disunite them. وَإِصْلَاحِ ذَاتِ الْبَيْنِ. And they correct any sort of discord, any sort of deviation. They work towards it. They do amr bil ma'ruf. They do nahi anil munkar. They don't say it's not my problem. But at the same time as doing amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar, they work on themselves. That their very existence becomes a guidance for other people. There's no point me sitting here and telling you don't have pride, don't have this, and then you come towards me and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm too tired, sorry. That isn't, that Amr bil Ma'ruf, that Sayyid al-Shuhada speaks about. He says, وَأَسِيرُ بِسِيرَةِ جَدِّي. I'm going to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. How? By walking the path of my father and my grandfather. I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk it myself and then watch how the rest of society changes. When you do that, when you work on yourself and your path is set, you will bring about the change within the society around you, within your family, within your community. But if you work with the aim by saying this person has a disease, this person's a problem, this person, I'm going to change them, that's coming from the aspect of pride. You yourself have the disease. You yourself need the help. But when I say no, I'm going to refine myself. And through that refinement, I'm going to help others. When they look at my character, that's the correct way. وَإِفْشَاءِ الْعَارِفَةِ. The other thing that the Imam says is the spreading of good behavior through one's own action. وَسَتْرِ الْعَائِبَةِ. Through covering faults. The muttaqeen cover the faults of others. They don't make a text message and send it out to everyone. This person, or a message, or a, whatever we have nowadays, videos and things. They cover the faults of people. They see someone do something wrong. They don't go and tell, oh, you know what? You know what he did? He's there always with a tasbih in his hand, and you know what he did? I saw him doing. You know how he is with his family? Says no, the muttaqeen are those that cover the faults. Why? Because no one is faultless. If God has been so magnanimous that He will cover my faults, then who am I to expose the faults of others? In fact, who am I to expose my own faults? You often hear people say, oh, you know what, back in the day I used to be like this. That's back in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Sattar al-Uyub. He hid your sins from the people. Why are you bringing your sins out in front of everyone? When it talks about covering faults, it's also about covering your own, that past that you had. There's no need to come, oh yeah, I used to drink and I used to. It's done. Allah covered it. No need to bring that out. Some people think, oh, I do it because I'm trying to guide others, to show them that this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hid those faults. I have no right to expose my sins to others. Nor do I have the right to expose the sins of anyone else. The muttaqeen, they hide the sins of others. وَلِينِ الْعَرِيكَ, and they have a mild temper, a mild temperament. They're not hot-headed. They're not brash. They're not rash. They're very mild. They're very nice. You like to sit with them. They're very respectful. They're not always grumpy. I mean, we really have an issue as youth of this grumpiness. Like we grow up as if the whole world is against us, and I just You see some people what? This is how you interact with, like, are you a caveman? Allah created you a human being, and yet we can't even articulate a simple salam. The muttaqeen are those that have that mild temperament, and they have where the Imam says, and they lower the wing. They're humble. They're humble. They don't expect anything from anyone. They don't want to talk about all their accolades in front of anyone that will listen. They're humble about things. And they have وَحُسْنَ السِّيرَةِ. They have a beautiful conduct. When they address people, the way they are, they have beauty in the way that they conduct themselves. They don't have, a lot of the times we don't need to say anything. It's just the way that we are, the way that we sit, the way that we interact with someone, or the way that we, look at someone. Sometimes you don't even need to say. The beauty of conduct is within your actions as well. It is a sign towards the upbringing that you've had, and also a sign towards how refined your intellect is. You see those that are unrefined, uncultured. One of the things that Sayyid al-Shuhada, when he has a narration where he says that those that are the best of people that want to bring best out into society, one of the things about them that the Imam says is that they are cultured. And then he says they have good akhlaq later on. But one of those things is cultured. What does that mean? That they go and they read about others' cultures. They go and read. They're wider read. They know about things. They go into depth about other subjects. And this isn't just me. Amir al-Mu'mineen says in Nahjul Balagha, he says that I have contemplated and I have read about other nations and their pasts. And I have thought about them. I have contemplated about them. I have read so much about them. It is as if I had lived amongst them. And there's me, I don't even have a clue. Forget Islamic culture, I don't even know about anything else. The Quran is constantly calling, فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, go travel the earth. Look what's happened to the liars. Look what's happened to nations before you. But there's no element of being cultured. That beauty of conduct also comes when an individual is well-rounded, is well-cultured. Not only do they know how to speak, but they have an understanding of wider society. They have an understanding of other cultures. And they're accepting of it. Not, I go on ziyarah, oh, there's no chilies in this. I can't eat this. How do these people eat this? Here people go on ziyarah. This Iraqi food. These Iranians, they don't have any chilies. I want chilies. This, when the Imam is speaking about this beauty of conduct, it's not, these things are multifaceted. We have to understand that spirituality is not just one way that you're praying. No, your spirituality is that you don't complain. What you're given, you say Alhamdulillah. You appreciate the culture of others. You learn, you understand, you contemplate. This is what the muttaqeen are. These are who they are. And there's many more. There's about 22 traits that the Imam addresses. I don't have time to go into them. But just these 4 or 5 that we've looked at. That if an individual wants to claim to be from amongst the muttaqeen, from amongst the followers of Imam al-Muttaqeen, wants to be amongst the followers of Imam al-Sajjad, this is what the Imam wants from us. This is what the Imam is expecting of us. It's just simple things. Like not controlling my anger, not having hate towards people, being nice. Just being a general nice person. And we have those, we try and think, okay, maybe I have to do this dhikr 5 million times and then do this namaz and go off into a jungle somewhere and that's how I achieve spirituality. No, it's not. Be just a nice person. You have a smile on your face. You meet people. You respect people. You respect the views of others. You respect the culture of others. You learn. This is how one begins to influence others. And I don't need to go into all that about Dale Carnegie and how to influence people and make friends. And all those self-help books are there. But remember one thing, all of it came from Ahlul Bayt. This was all there before. So just take that from Imam Sajjad. If nothing else, we just take this Du'a Makarim al-Akhlaq tonight, tomorrow, whenever I have an opportunity, sit down, look through it, see what it is that Imam speaks about as being the height of morality. And that is the best way to celebrate the Jashan of the Imam. That I'm willing to change myself. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost gives me the tawfiq to act upon that which I have said. Secondly, gives you the tawfiq to act upon that which you have heard. Oh Allah, forgive our sins. Oh Allah, forgive the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa'ah. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Those who are in education, make them successful. Oh Allah, keep safe our ulama and our maraja and keep them at the head of our institutions. Oh Allah, keep safe the Shia of Ali Muhammad around the world. Oh Allah, destroy the enemies of Tashayyu, both internal and external around the world. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadhireen, his true waiters, for the acceptance of these du'as and any other du'as that the brothers and sisters have brought on this night. Please recite 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.